Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today I want to talk about the changes that are coming to Warlock on Tuesday. We knew changes were coming. Very likely some tuning was going to happen. You can see my nice flowers. I didn't notice you look at flowers. And anyways, I want to talk about the changes that are coming to Destruction, Hellcaller Destro of all things, and the large changes Demonology is, well, receiving. So, jumping into it, let me hop to my browser over here. So, there's a couple things I want to hit on. The changes to Hellcaller, Destruction were surprising. The Demonology changes were not. In a good way, though, which is solid. So let's just jump into this, start off with Destro really quickly here. So Zalen's Cruelty and Zalen's Ferocity. These have been changed. They've been nerfed from 8% to 5%. And Blackened Soul's taken a really large hit. A 50% nerf. Let me hop into game and find. I finished my character today. Very nice. There we go. 244.3. I want to pull up Destro Hellcaller stuff here and talk about what's going on briefly. Zalen's Ferocity nerfs and stuff are weird. But I guess it's those like tuning knobs to have. They can just turn if a spec is like too high in certain areas or they want to like tweak things a bit. It's like this: Zalen's Ferocity and Cruelty. These just knobs here. So this is going to 6% and 6%, or I think it's 5%. They're both 8 currently, right? So those are getting nerfed, and Blackened Soul is getting hit by a whopping 50%. That's a lot. Now, I mean, Blackened Soul, I think, is getting to the point where we basically have the same amount of like Blackened Soul buffs and nerfs and changes that Priest have had with Psychic Link. It's crazy how often this thing gets buffed and nerfed. It sort of blows my mind. But regardless, I'm trying to find like some damage breakdowns here briefly in Warcraft logs for Blackened Soul. I don't know if we actually have it or not. Expansions. I don't know where this is at. There's no pre-expansion stuff here, I don't think. It's fine. I don't really care a whole lot either way. Is there pre-patch stuff here? Let's see. Expansions. War Within. S3. Let's go. Urkura. We have pre-patch. We do. I'll pull up Destro here. It might not be as accurate. I don't think anything's really changed between pre-patch and here at Blackened Soul, but, you know, just to show Blackened Soul's overall output and stuff. Let's find a Hellcaller one. Perfect right here. Mr. Fletcher. Blackened Soul. Rain of Fire, Wither. If you look at Wither, a lot of it is Blackened Soul, being about 20%. This number got cut in half. So Wither itself didn't get hit, but this number here sliced down the middle. There's been a lot of like just buffing and nerfing to Blackened Soul, and whenever any kind of Warlock tuning is coming in, you can bet there's going to be a token Blackened Soul nerf or buff somewhere. I don't know what that gasping was there, but it's nerfed by half. These changes look like they're sort of here. Rain of Fire nerf 2 are here to just bring down Hellcaller Destruction's just mass AoE profile. It's very strong. We knew it was strong for a very long time, and this just, I mean, backs up. They think it's too strong, so they're bringing this all down a little bit. However, there's a very big buff here that is surprising, and that is Through the Fellvine. So this is not being nerfed. This is being buffed. Now, for those who don't know, Through the Fellvine is this talent right here. Warcraft, there we go. Right here. Passive, increase the damage of Chaos Bolt by 10% and Rain of Fire by 8. So currently, before buffs, it is 10% to Chaos Bolt and 8% to Rain. This effect is doubled while Malevolence is active. Malevolence being your capstone and a minute cooldown, right here. That also has a chance to proc randomly for 8 seconds. Devil Fruit does indeed activate Through the Fellvine. Through the Fellvine is being buffed. That's my desktop. Being buffed from 10% to 35%. So whenever you pop Malevolence, Chaos Bolts are going to hit 70% harder. Up from 20, because Malevolence doubles the value here. Whenever Devil Fruit procs, your bolts are going to hit 70% harder. This, with Crashing Chaos, means bolts are hitting really hard. We have Sims look at in a minute here too. We'll talk about what changed. TLDR, Hellcaller and Diabolus Destro were like sort of neck and neck, and now things have changed a little bit. Also worth mentioning here that I wouldn't be surprised if a bit more value is found in this, and maybe like there's some weird like just crash or like apparently you still want to cast Shadowburn and execute range. even with Crashing Chaos, with the new change to Hellcaller, but I'm curious to see how close the disparity, like what the disparity is between those two, with tweaking all that. But yeah, so moving on here to Demonology. But before we do, really quickly, I want to show y'all the merch on the shop that came out today. Today's video is sponsored by me and on my new merch shop on Fourth Wall. It came out yesterday. Very briefly here, if you guys didn't see it, we have a plethora of THD derp merch, apparel, shirts, jackets, THD sweaters, not an ugly sweater, a very nice Christmas sweater, in multiple colors. Also hats, cups. I added a bit of lore to each thing here as well. Every single thing you look at has a bit of interesting lore on, like this. Also, this container here doubles as a toilet smasher. If you know the lore behind that, you know. If not, it's okay. We also have the desk mats and stuff with the new arts, the Fell Warlock, regular Warlock for Destro stuff, AF and Demo in large sizes, medium, small, even the older desk mats you have from the Max from the 80s. And also, we have wall arts if you guys are interested. I'll have a link to it down below in the description. And if you want to check it out, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so Demonology. Now, I made a video on this about a week ago talking about what I think should probably happen to Demo with nerfs and all that stuff. And honestly, it's not just me. A lot of other creators and Lock Discord have been talking about this stuff. And thankfully, Blizzard went with what those suggestions were pretty much, which is awesome. So they came in and nerfed Jailer by 45%. Inquisitor by 5 is whatever. Could have been buffed for nerf a little bit, no big deal. And they came in and buffed Lady Sacrilash and Grand Warlock Alithis or whatever by 35%. This is a really good change because they came in about a month ago and nerfed all 4 of these pets by 45%. Jailer was still incredibly OP. Inquisitor was like fine. You can see it barely got nerfed today. But these two were already pretty bad, and it just made them less than 1.5% of damage, basically like 2%. It was terrible. Thankfully, they came and hit Jailer again, which needed to happen, and this is fine, sort of a wash almost, but they buffed Sacrilash and Grand Warlock back to being stronger. They're not like dominating. Jailer is still the best pet you can get, but it greatly reduces the RNG of like the high-end, low-end of Demonology, with the Jailer being fixed as well, and it adds a bit of less excessive variance to the spec, which is cool. Thank you, Blizz, for that. They even talk about it here. Very cool. Moving on, Soul Harvester. So demonic soul damage reduced by 55%. Manifested demonic soul reduced by 50. I believe this is soul swipe. I don't know how these all interact, just to clarify. I don't know how they all work individually, because you have your demonic soul, then you have the manifested one off to the side here. Like here's, come on, man. Here's demonic soul. Here's manifested demonic soul with soul swipe. Nerfed by 55, nerfed by 50 or 55, whatever it was, 50. And Soul Anathema reduced by 35. So this is for Soul Harvester Demonology only, not AF. However, Wicked Reaping buffed by 50%. So not bad. A little bit of like an offsetting buff, I guess, in a sense. And also right here, big one. Demoniac's Fervor now increases damage dealt by Demonic Soul by 200% to the main target of Hand of Gul'dan. So hitting like Soul Harvester's, like Soul Harvester, like the dude, part of the hero talent, AoE, I guess, and hitting their AoE with these nerfs here also, both single target and AoE relevancy here with these nerfs, but keeping a bit of the single target element here by buffing Demoniac's Fervor. Now the question is, how much is Fervor right now in retail? It's 100%, so it's 200 now. So while they are nerfing the overall damage a bit here, it'll bring down like the AoE part of it a good bit. It should be like, I wouldn't say a relative wash here in single target for this, because it's not. It's a bit of a hit still, but they're buffing Fervor and they're buffing, was it Reaping, I think, as well? Which is over somewhere. One of these green things, I think. It's somewhere in here. There you go. Which is interesting. But yeah, we'll take that. So I think overall these are pretty good changes. About what we expected. They were going to hit Soul Harvester. Did not hit Diabolist at all. This hits Demonology in both hero talents, right? But no specific Diabolist nerfs to that hero talent. And if we get in the Sims here more, we can look at where things landed, both for Demonology and Destruction. So we have here Demonology, Diabolist. So it was simming at around 116k. These are in the Lock Discord. Credit to them. They ran the Sims, all the above. They're great, smarter than me. I can't run custom APLs. I'm not that smart, but they are smart, and they help me sometimes. So 116k was where Diabolus Demonology was at before the nerfs came in. Now the nerfs meaning basically just these, right? These don't count for Diabolus, obviously. These nerfs taken into account. Diabolus took about a 5% nerf. 110k is where it's at now. Soul Harvester was at 130k. With the Soul Harvest nerfs coming in, I've heard it's right around here at 116, about 10%. I've also heard that this might be a bit excessive. It might be about an 8% nerf. It's somewhere in like the 8 to 10%, 11% vicinity. If it's 8%, it's like 120, something like that, give or take. But Soul Harvester is still on top by about 5,000 DPS. Now, if we dig more into this, we can jump into here and see like the min-max of these, right? Like more looking at Soul Harvester, it's like pre-changes. The minimum for the pre-nerf Soul Harvester was 104,000. The max was 163. Now you're looking at 100,000 and max 133. So they've brought down like the RNG and the variance of this a good bit by nerfing Jailer, nerfing Soul Harvester, Backpack Man, but it's still very good in single target. Holy DK took a 20% war nerf today. Devourer, Demon Hunter was a 4%. Demonology, post nerf at 116 might be the highest simming spec in the game, or one of them. I think Feral's like 120, but it's definitely up there. It's pretty high right now. Comparatively looking at damage breakdowns, pre-nerf Soul Harvester, you can see here's your Jailer at 12.3%. Here's your Demonic Soul. A couple other things in here. If you look at like Graham Warlock, Lithis, whatever, 2.2, Sacrilege 2.2. Post nerf, this changes. Your Jailer is sitting at 7.6. Wicked Reaping is 14%. That's pretty high. This is a big buff they gave it. Why, I'm not sure, but I'm not gonna complain. Demonic Soul 7.4%, so down also from the previous buffs, or the buff version of that. Graham Warlock is sitting at 3.3, and the other one is sitting here as well at 3.3. So bit more spread out, bit more even, but we want to drive home that Demo got nerfed. We knew it was going to get nerfed, but it's still pretty good. This is still a pretty high single target sim comparatively to most of their specs in the game. Some are a little higher, I think. This is on the higher end for sure. So there is that. Soul Harvester ahead a bit in single target. I wouldn't be surprised if you played Diabolus and Mythic Plus with like there being only a 6k disparity. Yeah, there are sims here, I think, as well. I think they're, yeah. Malakath ran these sims. This was pre AV stuff for Destro or Demo, obviously. Pre-nerf Soul Harvester and M+. 5 minutes, 5 targets. Post-nerf 311, 5 minutes, 5 targets. Similar damage here, Imps on top, but pre-nerf, obviously, our Demonic Soul pretty high. All that. Post-nerf, it's still here, but it's down more. Dogs are up here, Tyrants here. It got nerfed, obviously. Sacrilege and Graham Warlock are jumping here. And yeah, there you go. So overall, about what we expected, I'd say, give or take for Demonology, but still pretty good. Moving on to Destruction. So we have Destro here. So this was the initial sim, taking Hellcaller's profile pre-nerfs and just running it with the buffs and nerfs applied. Meaning like applying all of this, like these nerfs and this buff here, right? And it lost about 2.6%, was around 105, 106k. However, changes like this often do affect talents. Things like Crushing Chaos weren't simming as high as Reign of Chaos. But when you add a modifier to Chaos Bolt that's 70% during cooldowns, it begins to pull ahead. So Crushing Chaos is indeed on top over Reign of Chaos for Hellcaller Destruction, currently in single target at 107k, comparatively to the older version at 108.6. But still, this is the AoE part of like Hellcaller with Black and Soul Wither took a nerf, obviously. It also affects it a bit in single target. The changes to Xavius' Cunning and Tenacity, whatever they're called. But Hellcaller Destruction in like Havoc Cleave settings with like Chaos Bolt or Mayhem Cleave settings for like the Dragon Boss in Voidspire or Light Blinded Vanguard, probably gonna be really good. You've got Hellcaller profile, Minute Wither, minute and a half, or Minute Malevolence, minute and a half Infernal, big Chaos Bolt buffs during those windows. Could be good. If you wanted Chaos Bolt to hit hard again, if you wanted Chaos Bolt to be like the big damage spell you put out, well, I mean, okay, we're back to it. So here is the, let me see, here is like what Bolt was hitting for before the Malevolent changes came in through the Felvine and stuff, your average bolt was 128,000, give or take, playing Reign of Chaos and all that, swapping to Crashing Chaos. Let me see if we can break this down more, actually. Let me open this up. So like your mean is 128, your max is 221. This is playing Reign of Chaos and all that. If you hop over here and pull up the nerfs and changes, playing Crashing Chaos with Malevolence and all that, you're looking at 184 average. Your biggest bolt, 366k. Min's a little low, but you can see the Malevolence points right about here. I mean, right about here, give or take. You can see like the Infernal versus Malevolence windows and syncing up again at like that 2-minute mark. Bolts hit hard again. 360 is a lot of damage. And looking at the breakdown here, Bolt is 31% of your damage, followed by Soulfire, Incinerate here, Shadow Burn, Soulfire being over here as well. Soulfire hits hard also, but it has a 45-second cooldown, right? Soulfire is hitting for 286 on crit, right? But when Chaos Bolt's always critting, you've got Effects active and Crashing Chaos and Malevolence through the Felvine giving a big buff. They're hitting for 370k. Like, that's a lot. So if you like the old Chaos Bolt Blast playstyle, Hellcaller looking pretty good. If you're a fan of like, I mean, the Wither Black and Soul playstyle obviously is still there. It's not doing terrible in single target. Like Wither's here at 6.6, Black and Soul 6.4. But like, I mean, comparatively in AoE to before, it's going to be a significant change. Gonna feel a decent bit different. So there's that. And here's where Diabolus is simming roughly, I think. So I think this is pretty accurate. It was run a few days ago, but Diabolus is sitting at like 109.8. This is like pre-nerf or pre-changes Hellcaller roughly. Some variants, obviously, in gearing and stuff, but like with this build sitting at 107k versus Diabolus being 109k, but this build having a lot more like spread cleave relevancy when you've got two targets like the Dragon Boss and Voidspire, and they're spread enough where you can't get Diabolus cleave, you can play Hellcaller. Put up Withers on them and just cleave Chaos Bolts through Havoc with Malevolence and through the Felvine and just crank. This raid tier is shaping up to be a pretty big Destro tier, some Demo mixed in as well. If you're a fan of AF, I thought it might get buffed today as well. AF is sitting around 107k, I think, in single target sims, what I've seen. I feel like if you've played AF over the course of alpha and beta or anytime recently, I don't think there's a player in the world that feels like AF is doing 107k in single target. But the sims check out. I don't see anything wrong with them. I don't write the APLs, but like the cast sequencing and everything looks fine. It's hard to replicate Affliction's like execute profile with Death's Embrace, whether you're playing Drain Soul or Shadow Bolt, but like on a dummy, right, comparatively to sims. But if AF is sitting at like 107k, 106k, whatever it is, they're all within that general range of like 110-ish k. But I think if you're in a scenario where both AF and Destro are good this raid tier, you're playing Destro. It's just how it is. It's just better. Especially with like this post Hellcaller stuff. I think this is a big change actually that people aren't gonna see for a few days until the raid comes out. Demo's good too, obviously. 116k post nerf. Looking pretty good. So that's that. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Wraps it up. Hopefully it wasn't too long, and hopefully help clarify a bit on the changes that are coming to Warlock on Tuesday, reset day. I'm a little surprised Ab wasn't buffed, like I said, but I mean, maybe it's like a 12.05 retooling of the tree a bit. Maybe it's just like some UA changes coming in that aren't ready yet. It's important to drive home that there's going to be tuning very likely after Heroic Week as well. So the plan is to play a bunch of Destro, get AF buffed, and we play AF in the raid on Mythic Boys. All right, lock in. But yeah. Jokes aside, I mean, honestly, I think Lock is pretty good this tier, man. We sim pretty well, pretty good profiles on most of the fights and stuff, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Hopefully you guys are too. So, thanks for watching, y'all. Like always, a huge shout out and thank you so much on Patreon for all support, guys. Well, like always, thank y'all a million times. I greatly appreciate y'all support. Without it, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, guys. Yeah, I appreciate y'all being around and supporting. Thank y'all so much. At the same time, if you want any profiles or add-ons, links to Twitch and just yeah, profiles and add-ons, not Week Wars anymore. Twitch, Discord, all up here. Website, all the profiles are for free for you guys. Also, we talked about it in the video at the start, but merch is indeed live from the channel. I'm not going to plug it every video, but it's new. If you guys haven't seen it, want to check it out, link down below to the shop. The maths are selling like crazy. People like them, man. I'm pumped y'all like them. There's also wall arts, a bunch of THD merch and stuff. So thank y'all so much for all the support. Appreciate it, guys. and I'll see you all again soon on stream. Peace.